And welcome to vlog 114. I am the Audiophile Barista. This is where I talk about audio, coffee and other things. I got a lot of things to share with you today, so let's get into it. First off, over here there is a delivery today between 12:15 and 14:55 and it is now 9:23. So I'm waiting for that. And I'll tell you all about it in this vlog. So what's going on over here? Well, not too much. Still the same thing. I've been selling some stuff. So the Pioneer CD player that I showed you some time ago, that one is gone. A set of Q-Acoustics loudspeakers, they have been replaced. I will show you with what they've been replaced downstairs. I also bought another subwoofer that I'm going to tell you about, but that is also downstairs. And funnily enough, of course this was a second-hand subwoofer, and when the guy came in here, he said, well, I know you, and this was a friend from the past, so this is interesting. Well, he was a friend of some of my friends from the past. So we knew each other. He is into high-end car audio, and of course, he asked, well, can you turn on the set and let me have a listen? Of course, I did. So he was sitting there, and he was amazed. He said, I have goosebumps all over, and he had never heard a three-dimensional soundstage as good as this one, which of course made me very proud, especially from someone who actually understands a little bit about our hobby. But of course a car environment is completely different than a home environment. Well, that was fun. Okay, let's go downstairs. Ooh, look, almost 3,000. Hello. Okay, this is such a small room, so let me back up a little bit. A few weeks ago I showed you the KEF loudspeakers that I got, and they are situated now over here. I was thinking, because I always used to have two loudspeakers on top there, which were the Q-Acoustics. They now have been sold. And what I wanted was to have the same loudspeaker downstairs and upstairs, the floor standing one below and the bookshelf on top. And as you can see, yesterday, 2 days ago, I scored these KEF IQ1, and they are now playing through the Nakamichi set, the SR3E, the CR2, well, CR2 cassette deck, OMS2 CD player, and this is a very nice set and can play two sets of loudspeakers at the same time. So now when I sit here in my big listening chair, I can listen to those two by itself or all four. And I told you before, and I will tell you again, if you have a small apartment, if you have a small room and you want big sound, get a set of loudspeakers, get the same set of loudspeakers and put them up there. If floor standers are even too big for you, make sure that you take a set of bookshelves and make it two sets of the same bookshelf, one on top and one below at ear level, as it should be. So now I'm going to change the lighting and the big chair a little bit and show you what else I have been doing this week. Okay, so I've been working on this thing. I have been buying a Piega subwoofer, and this weekend, actually today is Halloween, not something we do in the Netherlands, not something definitely that we, Mrs. Barista and me, do. We don't care for Halloween, but we do like this film, The Nightmare Before Christmas. So we decided to have a look at it on Laserdisc this weekend, and that's why I had to change some things. So let's have a look what I did. Okay, so I'm filming this on my phone because it has a much wider lens than I have on my regular camera, and this is a small room. That's why I want to show you a bit more. I have a studio light over here, trying to get the picture as good as possible, but it is just on my phone. Anyways, this is something that you may all know. For those of you who are new, I have downstairs in my house a little room where I have like a museum or stacked up all those things that I have collected in over 40 years in this hobby. Show you quickly what is on the other side. This is my wall of media, Laserdiscs down there, VHS all the way on the top, and in between CDs, DVDs, my Blu-ray boxes and Blu-rays. And this is not only for show, I like to play as much as possible. So over here, these things, Jaws, Aliens, some Cruise, some Jurassic Park, those are all Laserdiscs, and I am still playing Laserdisc. And as it is Halloween, something we actually don't do, but because we, Mrs. Barista and me, we love The Nightmare Before Christmas. I have this on Laserdisc, I had it on VHS, DVD, not yet on Blu-ray, but this weekend we decided to play The Nightmare Before Christmas during Halloween on Laserdisc. So this is the Laserdisc. We go back here in this cupboard. I have a DVD player, but this is one without HDMI. This is before HDMI, so this has a SCART out. There is a VHS player that still works, and there is my wonderful Sony Laserdisc player. That's the one that we're going to use. And we're not going to use a flat screen TV, but I have an original CRT TV. It's a very small one, but it works. Now this is all connected via the Cambridge Audio AV receiver, the Azur 340R. And I told you guys some time ago about this because it is a surround sound receiver. So I had these Piega loudspeakers that I showed you in another video. Here's the other one, set very much wide apart, but it gives you a very spacious sound. Now, yesterday I received this thing. This is a Piega P-Sub 4 subwoofer. That's the one that I want to connect today. And actually I want to connect it to my Lin surround setup, and I want to connect it to this Cambridge Audio Piega setup. Tomorrow, Friday, this this left and right and subwoofer gets accompanied with a center from the same line as those aluminium speakers are. And in order, let me back up again. So there's your Piega left, right, there's your Piega left. So somewhere over here needs to be the center speaker. So I'm going to place it there. This means that this AV receiver needs to go into this cupboard, and that's my job for today. And after that I'm going to connect the Piega subwoofer. Now there is room on top of the Sony Laserdisc player, so I have to get, this is on wheels, this thing, so I can pull it forward, put this one in there, do all the cable management, make the connection to the subwoofer, and then I have a empty spot for the center, Piega center, that is going to be there. So to be continued. Okay, let's give you a little bit of a better look of how I did this. So as you can see here, the wonderful AV receiver from Cambridge Audio. Over here we have the SCART switch box. You can switch between the different inputs, 1, 2, 3. So VHS, DVD, Laserdisc, and one SCART monster cable goes out into the CRT TV. And over here we have a Apple TV with some cables behind it, but these cables are so heavy altogether that they kept pulling off the Apple TV from this cabinet. So I weighted it with a doorstop. They're heavy, and now this thing will stay in place and not get pulled off by all the cabling. So this is what I'm going to change today. Okay, this is the mess that is behind it all. As you can see, I've used some of this black tape to do some cable management in the past, and most of them are coming loose. So I'm going to get everything out and do some new cable dressing, install the AV receiver down here on top of the Laserdisc, and then reconnect everything. Getting closer. So now the next thing that is getting under tension is this one, which is the Ethernet cable, because down here, I show you, down here I have a little Ethernet hub. So I have one Ethernet cable coming in, but a lot of these different pieces of equipment need a Ethernet cable, like the Apple TV or the Marantz receiver over there. So that is why I have this little Ethernet hub. So let's unplug that one. And one solution that I'm looking for is that over here you see that Ethernet cable, and it has to run across the floor coming from this little Ubiquiti Wi-Fi thingy. So what I want eventually is one of those, putting it somewhere over there and have a wireless connection. But for now I have a wired connection. So moving on again. Okay, so looking at the back over here, we have the speaker cable for the front left, which is of course the Piega in the corner over there. So front left, front right, over here left surround, which is not in the back but in this system. Over here we have the surround left and the surround right. Now normally they should be of course behind you, but that is where I have this all. So that's not going to work. I did an experiment. Let's see if I can place them up high and have them fire over your head, and does that work? Well, actually it's not the same as an actual surround sound, but it works pretty good, especially for this setup. It gives you a immense spacious sound, and you get the surround sound information in the room, even though it's not coming from the back. So I keep it like that, and maybe those will be Piega also one day, but for now they're Tannoys, and I'm going to have to get all these bananas out of there, because if I pull it any more forward they will pull off the loudspeakers. So next step. Now these power cables are getting under tension, so I have to disconnect them in order to prevent any problems, because over here all these things of course need power. So over here I have a PS Audio DECTED power center, DECTED, so 10 possibilities for equipment to put in there, because well, everything needs power. And I even had to use one of the outputs to connect another one which is this one. So I have enough power outlets to connect to all the different things that also the CD player, the stacks, that's all connected to this thing. So I'm going to have to pull out a lot of cables in order to be able to proceed. And still more things to unplug. There's these 3 cables. So this one goes to the TV, and this is the one that will give me the opportunity to, if I address the menu of the AV receiver, it will give me an image on the TV. The other thing, of course, is the HDMI. This one out. And the last one is the power cord for the TV. So I need to remove a lot more cables, but there's one thing I want to show you. One of the reasons that I love this Cambridge Audio, it has all the older and newer connections. Over here it has the old RGB connections, and it has some HDMI connections. This thing gives me a lot of possibilities. As you can see over here, there's a lot of digital inputs, optical and coaxial. So for example, the Laserdisc player has SCART out, so that's for the video, but it has a digital out, which was of course the thing with Laserdisc, is that the video on the Laserdisc is analog, but the sound was digital, something that VHS did not have. And something like a VHS player, the thing with the blue SCART there, had a analog out SCART, but it did not have a digital out, but it did have a left and right analog out for sound, and that one goes over here into the receiver. So most all of the connections that I want to make, I can make, because this AV receiver is one of those things that was in the transition time from one system to the other, so it has double connections. This gives me a possibility to connect a lot of things over here. And over here you can see all the connections for front, surround and center. All the way on the left there, center, that's going to be used. As you can see, the plugs are still on there because they have never been used before, but that's going to change tomorrow. So this is all preparation for that. And over here, right down there on the right side, there is the subwoofer out that is going to be connected to the subwoofer. Okay, so while I'm at it, I'm also making sure that everything is going to be connected in the correct phase, marking it with a white dot using the ultimate polarity checker, doing some labeling for convenience with my brother P-Touch D4000 label maker. So the Cambridge Audio is in. It fits very nice on top of the Laserdisc player. Now these doors are reinforced, so I cannot put this all the way up to the front, because then this thing will hit the equipment. So now it's just far enough that it won't hit the equipment. It's short enough that it won't hit these two knobs that are extending, and on this door it's the same, and this does not reach that one also, so everything can be closed. But next problem, this is of course the previous situation where the AV receiver was placed. If the center loudspeaker is too wide, I probably have to go into switch this thing to somewhere else. This is now double-sided tape connected to here. Because of the 4 heavy cables, it would fall off. So maybe I should change this. And the same maybe goes for the Apple TV. Now maybe the Apple TV can go just behind under there the TV, so I can reach it with the remote. I am not sure if these Apple TVs need to be in line of sight in order to work, because otherwise I might be able to put it right in here and maybe put that one also right in here. Problem is that I'm going to need a longer cable to the TV. Anyways, first world problems to be continued. Hours and hours later, almost done. All those cables needs to be still connected, but in order to do so I need to push this one back so I can, because these are too short otherwise. So all the loudspeaker cables needs to be connected, going to all the different Piega loudspeakers. The blue cable over here is for the subwoofer. I have some analog in coming from the Laserdisc, the VHS and the DVD player. I have some digital in coming from the Laserdisc, the Apple TV and the DVD player. Power needs to be connected. For the other power is down there. I have made sure polarity is okay everywhere. Over there in the corner you see the power cable going down to the side, another one over there. Those are going underneath the equipment and they come out over here, so they won't interfere with all the signal cables. Now this is of course not really the audiophile way, but for this setup it's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, so let's push this thing closer to the wall, connect everything that still needs to be connected, and then try out if I did everything correct and everything works. Installing the subwoofer on screen display on. Going to have some fun with it, making sure that the subwoofer is connected. Okay, everything appears to be working, everything is playing, making sounds. When the center arrives tomorrow, I have the loudspeaker cable already prepared, and I have this one, which I am going to use to connect this subwoofer to two systems. So as you can see over here, I have this blue AudioQuest subwoofer cable connected to the LFE input. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the LFE input and put the AudioQuest in here and put another one in here, because this is now connected to this AV receiver, these right and left loudspeakers and the surround loudspeakers. I have this REL Quake subwoofer that is going to be replaced by this one, and I want for this Marantz AV receiver, which is connected to the Lin surround, to have the LFE connection from there also going to this subwoofer. So when I'm playing the Lin set, I'm using this subwoofer, and when I'm playing the Cambridge audio sets, I am also using this subwoofer. I will never use them at the same time, and the whole reason for buying this subwoofer was, well, apart from being the same line as the Piegas, and the REL is giving me some noise. It's a great little subwoofer, but it has a very irritating noise in it, so that's what I'm going to change. Okay, now tomorrow the center will arrive, last thing to connect, and then everything will be okay, and we can have a nice evening listening, watching The Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, so today is Friday afternoon. As you can see, there is no center loudspeaker standing over there because the postal service fucked up. They're going to bring it tomorrow. what I can show you is that the Piega subwoofer is now connected, standing in the corner over there. I hope it's not too close in the corner. I have to try it out still, but it is now connected to the AV receiver, the Cambridge Audio. Also, the Piega loudspeaker over there was standing there before, and the reason for that was because the loudspeaker cable was a bit too short. But fortunately, the loudspeaker cable that goes from the Lin to the Marantz setup was a bit longer, so they switched places. They are both the same loudspeaker cable, the yellow Van den Hul that you see over there. So this one was too short, but it is long enough for this part, so they switched. And now everything is connected. Tomorrow all that I have to do is to connect the center to the AV receiver and tell the AV receiver that there is a center loudspeaker connected, and then I guess everything will play. So that's it for today. Unfortunately, because this vlog airs on Fridays, I can't show you the whole picture. I was also going to tell you about another thing that I bought this week. This wonderful collection Blu-ray box from Hayao Miyazaki. But that's going to be another day because of the postal service. I am not really in the mood anymore. So let's go upstairs and finish off. And there it is, the wonderful weather in Rotterdam. A bit cloudy, temperature is actually still quite okay. And today is Friday. I'm wishing you a very nice weekend. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.